Let me tell you a story that sounds like a myth, but it's not. In a quiet village in India, a young girl named Anaya was told by her grandmother, "You were born with a gift in your hand." She didn't understand until years later, when life kept opening doors others could barely knock on. One day, a wandering sage noticed her palm and stopped mid-step. "The moon in your hand," he whispered, "is not just a mark. It's a message." That night, Anaya began to truly listen to her intuition, to the quiet nudges of fate, to the energy pulling her towards something greater. If you have a crescent moon or an M on your palm, you're not just marked, you're called. And if you don't answer now, you might miss the moment the universe chose you. There's an old tale from the foothills of the Himalayas about a boy named Shi Hang Yi. He was quiet, often lost in thought, but his grandmother always said he had the sky in his hand. One day, while helping in the market, a wandering mystic paused to examine his palm. The man's eyes widened. "You carry the crescent," he said, pointing to a faint moon-shaped curve near Rihan's lifeline. "And look, an M crosses your fate line. That is no accident. That is a map." At first, Rihan laughed it off. "Just lines," he said. But the mystic shook his head slowly. "Symbols mean nothing if you never ask what they mean. And power means nothing if you never use it." That night, Rihan couldn't sleep. He looked at his hand under moonlight, and for the first time, he didn't see a coincidence. He saw a question. What if the universe was waiting for him to wake up to who he truly was? If you have a crescent moon or an M on your palm, you may have felt that same strange pull, like life is whispering to you, like your steps matter more than you know. But nothing changes until you acknowledge it. These symbols are spiritual blueprints. The crescent represents deep intuition, a mind wired for connection to the unseen. The M has long been linked to leaders, truth-tellers, and destiny chasers. Together, they don't just mark you as unique, they ask something of you. It's not enough to have the mark. You must activate the gift. That means leaning into the very things that scare you, your voice, your vision, your truth. It means asking, "What is my purpose?" and being bold enough to live the answer. Rihan did. He became a renowned healer, not because he studied more, but because he finally believed what was already inside of him. So look at your hand again, not with doubt, but with curiosity. That mark is not an accident, it's an invitation to rise, to awaken, to stop waiting and start becoming. Because once you acknowledge the symbol, you unlock the path, and once you activate the gift, you become unstoppable. If you have a crescent moon or an M on your palm, understand this. It is not just a curious marking, not just a quirk of your skin. It is a signal, a symbol, a signpost from something far greater than coincidence. And your first step is to acknowledge that truth. These markings have shown up on the hands of prophets, healers, warriors, and way showers. Those who didn't just walk through life, but reshaped it. The crescent moon whispers of deep intuition, of dreams that speak in metaphors, of knowing without logic, while the M etched across your palm represents mastery, magnetism, mission. It appears on the hands of those born to influence, to lead, to pierce through illusion and step into legacy. But here's the truth no one tells you. Symbols mean nothing if you don't activate the power behind them. Think about it. How many people live with gifts they never use? How many die with potential they never explored? The markings on your hand are not promises, they are potential. They are dormant seeds, and they grow only when watered with belief and boldness. Acknowledge the symbol, yes, but then do the deeper work. Ask yourself why it's there, what it's pointing to, what you've always felt drawn to but never dared to pursue. These are not just decorative lines. They are a call to action. This is about waking up to your inner voice, sharpening your intuitive edge, and realizing that your very life might be the answer to someone else's prayer. You cannot sit on power and expect peace. You cannot bury your brilliance and still bloom. Activation means claiming your gifts, trusting them, using them, even if no one else sees what you see. Especially then, the universe doesn't put signs on the uncalled. It marks those it has chosen. And if your hand bears the crescent moon or the M, then make no mistake, you are among the chosen. So rise. Look again at your palm, not with doubt, but with purpose. Because that mark didn't appear by accident. It appeared to awaken you. And when you finally answer that call, when you stop denying what you were born with, you don't just change your life, you ignite your destiny. In a world that never stops shouting, where every screen screams for your attention and every voice tries to tell you who to be, the greatest power you will ever discover is the ability to silence the noise and tune into the whisper within. The quiet, steady voice that doesn't demand but guides. If you have a crescent moon or an M on your palm, that whisper is even more sacred, more insistent, because you are born with a built-in compass, a divine frequency that speaks not in chaos, but in stillness. The noise of the world is designed to distract you from your purpose, your intuition, your power, but your true clarity is hiding in silence, in those sacred moments where the mind softens and the soul begins to speak. When you unplug from the expectations, the pressure, the performance, and simply listen, not to what the world says you should do, but to what your spirit knows you must do. You start to hear instructions meant only for you. That whisper is the voice of your highest self, your future self, your divine self. It knows your path, it knows your pain, and it knows your potential. But it will never fight to be heard. It waits for you to be still enough to receive it. Tuning into it might look like morning meditation, long walks without a phone, journaling at dawn, or simply breathing deeply in the middle of chaos. But however you do it, you must make silence a priority, not a luxury. Because every time you silence the noise, you reclaim your power. Every time you listen to the whisper, you align with your truth. This is not about escaping the world. It's about remembering who you are within it. The crescent moon on your palm marks you as someone with spiritual sensitivity, and the M signifies the ability to master intuition. But neither gift can awaken until you choose stillness over stimulation. So pause, breathe, go inward, turn down the volume of the outside world and lean into the frequency that was etched into your soul before you ever spoke a word. That whisper knows your next step, your real calling, your true voice. The noise will never stop, but neither will your power. Once you finally start listening to it, you're not meant for the ordinary. Those words aren't flattery, they're a reminder, a spiritual wake-up call etched directly into your palm in the form of a crescent moon or an unmistakable M mark that has appeared on the hands of change makers, visionaries, and people who were never meant to blend into the background of life. If you carry this symbol, then ordinary will never satisfy your soul, because you were born with an extra layer of awareness, a deeper pull toward purpose, and a fire that won't be extinguished by routine or mediocrity. You've likely felt it your whole life. This restless energy, this sense that you were designed for something more, something meaningful, something most people might not even understand. That's not arrogance. That's alignment trying to speak through you. People like you don't come into the world to play it safe. You come to shake things up, to elevate rooms simply by walking into them, to turn pain into power, and to turn your voice into a vibration that changes hearts and shifts atmospheres. But too often, those born for greatness settle for comfort, for approval, for belonging in circles that were never meant to contain them, and in doing so they dim the very light they were born to spread. If you have these marks, it means your soul agreed to carry more, to lead more, to feel more, and yes, sometimes to suffer more, but always in service of something higher. Your life will never feel peaceful if you're pretending to be average. You weren't designed to clock in, numb out, and shrink down. You were made to speak boldly, love deeply, and create courageously, and rise relentlessly. And every time you ignore that inner knowing, Every time you silence that voice that says, there's more for you, a part of your spirit goes quiet. But here's the truth. Your greatness isn't waiting to be given. It's waiting to be unleashed. And the moment you stop chasing normal and start embracing your difference is the moment the world begins to move in your favor. You are not meant for the ordinary. And the sooner you accept that truth, the sooner your extraordinary life begins. Because the mark on your hand isn't a decoration, it's a declaration. And it's time you lived like it. Your intuition is not a soft suggestion. It is a spiritual command, a whisper from the deepest part of your soul that speaks before logic, louder than fear and faster than reason. And if you carry a crescent moon or an M on your palm, your intuitive power is not only heightened, it's sacred, and it demands your trust. From childhood, you may have sensed things before they happened, felt energy shift in a room without a word being spoken, or known when someone wasn't telling the whole truth, not because you saw it, but because you felt it. And that feeling wasn't coincidence, it was calibration to a higher frequency most people ignore. The problem is, society teaches you to silence that voice, to drown it out with data, with noise, with advice from people who do not know your path. And so you begin to doubt the very voice that was designed to lead you. But if you bear these symbols in your palm, you must understand, your intuition is not optional. It's your compass. It's the part of you that remembers your purpose when your mind forgets, the unseen thread that pulls you toward alignment, toward healing, toward truth. Even when the road is unclear, you will find that every time you've ignored it, you've paid a price, maybe not in money, but in peace, in relationships you knew were wrong before they ever began. And every time you followed it, no matter how crazy it seemed, it led you exactly where you were meant to be. That's not luck. That's divine navigation. So now is the time to stop second guessing what you already know, to stop asking for 10 signs when your spirit already gave you one, to stop thinking intuition needs to be justified. It doesn't. It needs to be honored. Practicing this doesn't mean you'll never fear again. It means you'll choose faith over fear when the two collide. It means you'll walk into rooms not needing facts because your frequency will speak before you do. It means trusting that your sensitivity is not weakness, it's weaponry. You are not crazy. You are connected. And when you learn to trust that voice fully, not halfway, not when it's convenient, but fully, you step into a level of alignment that logic could never deliver. Your intuition is your superpower, and it's time you stop ignoring your greatest gift and start living guided, not just grounded. Your destiny is already written, not in ink, but in energy, not in stone, but in spirit. And if you have a crescent moon or an M on your palm, then that destiny isn't vague or optional. It's divinely designed, etched into the very blueprint of your being, waiting for your voice to unlock it. But here's the truth most never realize. A written destiny means nothing if you refuse to read it aloud. Too many people carry silent callings, buried gifts, invisible brilliance. They feel the pull, they sense the path, but they mute the message because fear speaks louder than faith. But the ones who rise, the ones who live fully, aren't the ones with the loudest dreams. They are the ones who dare to declare them. Speaking your destiny into the world is not arrogance. It's alignment. It's spiritual agreement with what's already been placed inside of you. When you name your vision, when you say out loud, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and this is why I won't stop. You are not just informing the world, you are activating heaven. Words are portals, not just sounds. They shape atmosphere, bend timelines, and unlock doors the silent can't even see. Think about how many times you've known what you wanted but didn't say it. How many prayers you whispered once and buried under doubt. And yet, everything you see around you, every leader, every creator, every visionary, none of them arrived by accident. They spoke their future first. They believed it before it made sense. They aligned their words with their walk until the world had no choice but to respond. The crescent moon in your palm whispers of your spiritual sensitivity, of the dreams that visit you in silence. The mim screams of mastery, mission, and movement. But both require your mouth to become real. You must stop shrinking in spaces you were meant to shift. You must stop hiding from the very stage you were born to command. You must wake up every day and speak life over your path, because doubt can't survive in a room filled with declaration. This isn't about impressing others. It's about impressing your soul with the sound of truth. Your destiny is not waiting to be created. It's waiting to be claimed. So speak it, declare it, own it. Read it out loud every single day until your reality bends to match the script your soul's been holding all along. You are a mirror to the hidden in others, not by what you say, but by what you are, by the energy you carry, the truth you live, the light you refuse to dim. And if you bear a crescent moon or an M on your palm, that gift is magnified. You weren't just born to reflect the world, you were born to reveal it. To pull the unseen to the surface, to make others feel things they've buried so deep they forgot they existed. Because your presence isn't passive, it's powerful. It disrupts, awakens, confronts, and liberates without trying. Some people will love you for it. They'll feel seen, inspired, elevated, because being around you gives them permission to be more of themselves, to speak more freely, to live more boldly. But others will resist it, even resent it, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your authenticity exposes their avoidance. Your light clashes with their shadows, and your clarity reveals where they've chosen confusion over growth. That's not your fault. That's your function. You are a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They reflect, they reveal, they show people exactly where they are and what they've hidden. That's why you must never shrink, never edit yourself to fit comfort zones, never dull your truth to make others more at ease, because your role is sacred. You are the reminder of what's possible, the evidence that healing is real, that intuition is valid, that purpose can be lived out loud. You can turn to purpose and values as clear as you can turn to purpose and values, because your role is sacred. You are the reminder of what's possible, the evidence that healing is real, that intuition is valid, that purpose can be lived out loud. That purpose can be lived out. Your path isn't just for you. It's a map for others. When you trust your intuition, you remind others to trust theirs. When you speak from your soul, you spark courage in those who've stayed silent for too long. When you walk in alignment, you activate dormant dreams in those who have forgotten theirs. That is why protecting your energy is not selfish. It's spiritual stewardship. Because the clearer your mirror, the more truth others can see through you. You were never meant to blend in or be neutral. You were meant to be a reflection of what is raw, what is real, what is possible. And yes, that means you will trigger people who are not ready to see themselves. But it also means you will transform those who are. So stand in your truth, shine without apology, because your life is a mirror. And when you walk in alignment with your highest self, you reflect the divine potential hidden in everyone around you. And that, more than anything, is your quiet revolution. Break generational cycles. That's your assignment. Not just a suggestion or a noble idea, but a spiritual mission encoded into your soul the moment you entered this world. And if you bear a crescent moon or an M on your palm, then know this. Your life is not random. Your struggles are not accidental. And your burdens were never meant to break you. They were meant to break through you. Because you are the one your bloodline has been waiting for, the pattern interrupter, the curse breaker, the chain destroyer who came to end what should have never begun, and to begin what should have always been. You weren't born to repeat the pain, trauma, silence, dysfunction, or limitation of those who came before you. You were born to transform it, to face the darkness they couldn't speak of, and bring light to it. To rewrite the stories that were handed to you in fear and return them rewritten in faith. This assignment isn't easy. It's heavy, it's lonely, and at times it feels unfair, because the weight of generations rests on your shoulders, but so does the power to redeem them. You will feel the pull to shrink, to run, to numb. But you must remember, every time you choose healing over hiding, truth over tradition, boundaries over people-pleasing, and vision over victimhood, you send a ripple through your lineage that touches both the past and the future. You set a new standard. You tell your ancestors, it ends with me, and you tell your descendants, it begins with me. That's why you've always felt a little different, a little more sensitive, a little more awake, because your soul signed up to see what others ignored, to feel what others suppressed, to break what others bowed to, and to build what no one before you dared to imagine. You are the first fire in a line of ashes. You are the voice that speaks what others only whispered in shame. You are the one who chooses love where there was fear, presence where there was absence, and wholeness where there was survival. Your healing is not selfish. It is sacred. It is a gift to every name before yours and every name that will come after. So do the work. Speak the truth. Cry the tears. Forgive the unforgiven. Build the future you never saw. Because breaking generational cycles isn't just about healing yourself. It's about healing the entire story of your bloodline. And that, without question, is your divine assignment. Break generational cycles. That's your assignment, your divine contract, your sacred responsibility in this lifetime. And it is not for the faint of heart. Because to carry this task means you are not just healing yourself. You are healing everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after. And if you carry a crescent moon or an M on your palm, then you've already been marked as the one chosen to end what others could not, to face what others avoided, to say what others were too afraid to speak, because you were not born to repeat history. You were born to rewrite it. The patterns you see in your family, the silence, the anger, the scarcity, the trauma, the emotional distance, the cycles of pain passed down like heirlooms. Those did not begin with you, but they can end with you if you are willing to step into the fire and not let it consume you, but refine you. This assignment is not glamorous. It will ask you to stand alone, to question beliefs that were handed to you before you even knew who you were, to be the first one to say, this ends here, even when your voice shakes, even when your heart breaks, even when everyone around you clings to the familiar. But hear this, your courage will echo for generations. Every time you choose to go to therapy instead of suppressing pain, every time you choose to parent with intention instead of reacting from old wounds, every time you set boundaries that once felt impossible, every time you choose truth over comfort, you're not just healing you, you're liberating your lineage. You are proof that the story can change. You are the bridge between what was and what can be. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's exhausting, but you were built for this. Your intuition, your sensitivity, your awareness. Those are not weaknesses. They are tools placed in you so you could see clearly what others denied. So don't shrink. Don't apologize for being the first. Don't let guilt or fear trick you into thinking this work isn't worth it. It is. Because every act of healing you commit to, no matter how small, sends a ripple backward in time to honor those who didn't have the tools, and a ripple forward to bless those who will now never have to carry what you chose to release. You are not here by accident. You were sent to shift the story. You are the cycle breaker, and that is your divine assignment. Answer the call with courage, not comfort, because the moment you choose comfort over courage, you begin to shrink away from the very destiny you were born to fulfill. And if you bear a crescent moon or an M on your palm, that call is louder, clearer, and more urgent than it is for most, because those marks are not just symbols, they are spiritual stamps, declaring you a seeker, a warrior, a messenger, someone meant to stand tall, even when the ground beneath trembles. Comfort is tempting, yes. Safe routines, easy answers. Avoiding confrontation, staying in familiar patterns. But comfort never bursts greatness. It only fosters complacency. And your soul, your very essence, knows this instinctively. whispering to you in moments of quiet, that the life you're settling for is not the one you were designed to live, that the path you're avoiding is the one that will transform you, elevate you, and set you free. Answering the call means stepping into the unknown, confronting fears that paralyze, challenging limiting beliefs that have been handed down for generations, and risking rejection from those who don't understand your vision or your hunger for more. But that risk is necessary because courage is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's the fuel that ignites transformation and the hammer that breaks chains. And every story of triumph, every legacy of change, began when someone chose courage over comfort. Someone said yes to their calling even when their heart trembled, even when the future was uncertain. To answer the call courageously is to embrace discomfort as a teacher rather than a threat, to see obstacles as invitations rather than roadblocks, and to realize that growth is never comfortable, but always necessary. So you stop waiting for the perfect moment or the absence of fear, and instead move forward anyway, with shaky knees and a steadfast heart, knowing that comfort will never fill the emptiness inside, but courage will open doors to purpose, passion, and power. Your crescent moon and M are not mere marks. They are emblems of your inner fire, your capacity to navigate darkness, to shine fiercely in spite of doubt, and to lead others from confusion into clarity. And the world needs you to answer that call with boldness, to break free from the chains of hesitation and to rise fully into your potential. Because every second you choose comfort over courage is a second lost to your destiny, and your legacy depends on the moment you decide to embrace the discomfort, to lean into the fear, and to step bravely into the life waiting for you on the other side of fear. So answer the call, not with ease, but with endurance, not with certainty, but with faith, not with retreat, but with relentless forward motion. Because courage is the language of the soul, and it is the only way to live truly free.